Mm.
And as you look around in this area, what do you notice?
I'm with Atlanteans, and I'm in Atlantis. And I'm smiling as there's all these different energies, different colors. And it's as if these stars are, there's a kaleidoscope. Remember those old kaleidoscopes we used to have that you look into and it changes all the shapes, all these different fractals, bright, bright, bright colors. And all these beautiful stars with many different systems that are interchangeable. So many different beings down here. Wow. They've been saying they're waiting for us, Jill. They've been waiting.
And is this in the water around you?
Deep, 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 deep in the water. Deep. Beyond as the words I was getting as you were taking me down was the abyss. And it's not dark, it's bright. Bright, bright, bright. And wispy. The energy is light. Like, you mentioned cotton wool early on, but it's like clouds, like beautiful clouds. And many different beings, many different shapes, many different colors are walking past, greeting, bowing. We have been waiting for you. We have been waiting for this moment in time, for this uprising. And then they're saying, they're talking about the collective, even though you and I are the conduits for the messages. They've been waiting for you, which is the one, us, humans, for this uprising time. There's beautiful teals, beautiful blues. Now there's one, they're saying to me, the commander of the Atlanteans. And he's surrounded by many different mermaids of light and unicorns. And they're saying to me, observe, Michelle. Observe what we are showing you. Everything is truth. Everything is knowing. And this is a god that's come forward, Jill, called Merlin. Merlin's massive in his energy. And he says that they are holding the fort for this uprising time. We must not be afraid of the changes, of these ripples of change. You and I are very interconnected into this Atlantean energy which lies deep, deep, deep in the center of the waters of Earth.
What are they doing there?
Collecting and gathering information. So they're showing me, if we were to open up our laptops or our computers, you know, everything is interwired and there's little soldering points and chips that fit into each other. You know, it's all interconnected on different grids. They're saying they're holding the information on these different grids. And these grids are so, so, so old. Way before the existence of man.
Are these
And
energy grids?
please go ahead, say again.
Sorry, is this an energy grid?
They're showing me that it's land, the grids that are on land, they're grids in the matrices, and they're grids within the collective, and they're grids that are energetic, yet hold pulsations within the energy. So there's also structures within these grids. And they're saying that as I let go of my old grid system within my story 2 days ago, there was a tellinger. I don't know what a tellinger is, but they're saying I must deliver this information and like they're giving it to me. A tellinger, but telegraphic, an impulse like a Morse code pulse, a pulsation that was interconnected into my grid of my light, yet of my story. They said, does this make sense?
Right.
So these grids, all of us are, again, they're showing me the picture of a computer. If we open it up at the back, or even if we look at the screen, there's massive, massive, massive amounts of pixels and lights. And the pixels, at times, glitch. So within these grids, within these ley lines, within these energetic structures that have been here way before man existed on earth, is where they are holding space for us collectively, for the glitches to be known to mankind, yet for all of us to change these glitches in the grids. So you're a light keeper, I'm a light keeper, we are one of many, many, many light keepers. And as we are shifting the vibration in our grids, in our stories, we're circulating, it's what's those machines? You know, here on earth we have if we have humidity, or if we have, please say,
air conditioning, like air system that goes.
yes,
That's
yes,
what I see, like those huge big vents and everything, and it's
yes,
a circulatory system.
yes, but the ones that I'm specifically talking about is they pull in the, let's say, the dust particles,
Yeah.
and then they push out fresh air, exactly. And they're saying this is exactly what's happening with our systems, and my system, as I'm here, and they're talking about me, they're using me as an example today, and you as another example, but as in the sharing, and not the breaking down of myself, as many can understand that to be seen that way. It was a letting go. And as we let go, it's as if something, and the analogy they give me again is in the computer, that something clicks. Something clicks into my system, something clicks into my grid. Because my grid was already planned long before I even came here, in this existence of this body. So they're holding all these, they're saying glitches, yet they're holding all these grids together, because they find like almost as if they're showing me a jellyfish. And you know, jellyfish, when they swim, they look so elegantly with their tentacles, yet they're electric. They're electric. So there's a pulsation that happens in the electricity, not being stung by a jellyfish, but yet these electric pulsations are the lights that we are, yet there are glitches within all of our systems. So as we are exploring and going through these upgrades in these uprising times, they are reconnecting to help us rediscover our grids and making our grids strong.
So getting rid of the glitches?
Yes. So again, they're showing me the tentacles of the jellyfish, and every single tentacle has a pulsation, Jill, a pulsation. So as they're swimming, and you know, they go like this, the jellyfish. As they're swimming, and I don't know how many legs jellyfish have got, but every single leg has an electric vibration as they are swimming, the vibration as they are swimming. You see the contraction and expansion of my hand? They're saying this is what's happening with us as humans. We contract into our existence, into our stories, but then we expand when we let go of these old stories that have served us. Not haven't served us, have served us. Hence, you were guided a long time ago to share with me about sharing others' stories, my story. And I put it on my platform saying, my story. So as we are letting go our stories within these systems that are not robotic, within these grids, these are grids. As much as even there's a grid here, a grid here, a grid here, a grid here, a grid here. And they're saying to me that our grids are existing up until the 21st dimension. Yet, so many do not even know that we energetically are existing so far in advance. You spoke about the future, didn't you, Joel?
Yes.
And they're saying that this is where our futuristic selves are so expansive.
So can I ask you a question? Can we dip into those future selves currently?
Yes.
How do we do that?
By thought.
Give me a
By
bit more.
transmuting the old.
Ah, okay. So releasing the old stories and making way for the new lighter version?
Correct. Yet by thought, we are all telepathic. We are all connected into the grid, into these matrices, into the water systems, into the water of our land. And every ripple, every tiny being that is within the water is part of this system. So as we are all interconnected into these systems, which are, they're saying within the quantum matrices, within the quantum field, the 21st dimension has not yet been discovered, has it? People know it exists.
Well, no. Yeah.
They know it exists, yet we like tangible, so we can't grasp. We're like, what do you mean? Where is that? Where does that exist? Yet it is in the existence of the universe. They say this is very important news and information that they are sharing with us today, as they are deeply embedded in the abyss, in the underneath of our encapsulated world.
And what else do they do there other than keeping that grid going as such?
They help us to breathe.
How do they do that?
Many that will listen today will take a big breath in the connection of their Atlantean selves. So many cells are waking up within my body right now, and I can feel it here on my chest. in my throat. Many of us are going through these shiftings of the reconnection to the different systems within our cellular structures. And they're showing me that, think of it like a bubble. A bubble, when it is blown, it holds space, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And inside, there is energy, there is frequency, there is oxygen in that bubble to keep it going until it pops. Hence, bubbles bring such glee and delight to children. So they are helping us to breathe, yet they are helping us to look at the lighter side of life with all the colors of the spectrum. We have forgotten how to look at the lighter side of life.
And so what else do they do there? Because if they are there in a particular incarnation, as you saw the different colors, do they connect with certain beings on earth? Are they part of certain soul families?
Yes, they are. They are shapeshifters, Jill.
Hmm.
And they're saying they, but we. We morph. They morph. You morph. We morph. And transparent. They are transparent beings of light. Ooh. They're showing me right now that how I can see through them, like I want to touch them. But they shift here, and then they shift there, and then they shift here, and then they shift there, and they're faster than the speed of light. But if I were to touch them, they're saying to me plasma, they'd feel like plasma, like a jellyfish, and squishy. You know, have you ever felt a jellyfish? Not a live one.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
So they're saying jelly, like, you know, we eat jelly as human beings.
Wobbly.
Wobbly, yes. And like when we want to put our hands into jelly, it's like, it's like we just want more, like we want more. And they're shapeshifters, and they help us to see clarity. The Atlanteans are here today to bring us clarity of what is being redefined for humanity. They're asking, could you please ask questions around humanity and the future of this planet? They're saying your questions are important. Sorry to interrupt you. They're saying your questions are important. They are encoded with a vibration for other humans to not feel so enslaved no longer. They said they can just keep delivering the information through me, yet it's important as the humans that have questions on their lips, and you ask them, like you connected into humanity, so you ask the questions and people are like, yes, that's what I've been thinking for such a long, that's what I've been wondering for such a long time.
Okay. So regarding clarity, what do the humans need to unclutter within themselves in order to gain more clarity?
Being quiet is one. Not buying into the systems of what we have been forced to buy into. Eating as clean as possible. And they're saying it is important for us individually to listen to our bodies and what our bodies request and would like, as every system is different. They're saying that there's so much judgment around food. And yes, they are well aware. They're saying this is a very important moment, that they are well aware as to how things are being grown, things are being poisoned, things are being electrocuted. And they're saying, listen how they're saying things. They're not making it one or the other. They said this is very important because everyone has a perception of what a thing is, don't they?
Yes.
It is about making choices that validate these systems. These systems are running batteries. And the battery will keep going until it doesn't go any longer. So silence, pausing, listening. They're calling you and I out on how we don't listen. And they're saying that when we take a pause, we listen as human beings to one another. Hence, these create glitches in the system when we're talking over each other. Too much information. They're saying it's important that we slow down. And they're calling me out because I'm a proper culprit when I talk. They're saying when we talk and we slow down, we hear ourselves differently. Our vibration is more in tune, in sync. And they're saying, have you heard a baby sing? It's never out of sync, ever, to itself. And they're saying, to give the example of when my son was a baby, he would suck his dummy and I would hold him. And as he was falling asleep, he would go, and he could hear that tone, that tune. But he was never out of sync, he was never out of tune in his own space. So slowing down is key. Understanding one another, showing up for one another, holding space for one another. And they're showing me a tray full of glasses, Jilly. And they're saying when we are balancing those glasses, like here's the tray and the glasses, and the tray is packed full of glasses. I'm not going to be talking to you like this. I'm going to be holding the tray evenly so that not one of the glasses fall off. And they're showing me the word crystalline and crystals. A tray full of crystals, a tray full of crystal glasses. The crystals in the land hold frequency, they hold vibration. A big part of our change in the clearing of the old is to cry. Many of us are relearning how to cry. Our tears hold light codes. Our tears hold form. Our tears regenerate the body, our bodies. Hence we speak about heart activation, light activation.
So
They're
as
asking, do you want more clarity?
no, I like that. You know, as Michelle told her life story yesterday on her YouTube channel and released. I haven't watched it. Did she shed some tears?
Very much so, she did, yes.
Right. So people then who are starting to think about their life stories, the areas where they suffered and learnt, and suffered and grieved, those tears then are helping their great sister.
Absolutely. And they're showing me a mass amount of, and they're saying this isn't the easiest information to impart with, but they're showing me a mass amount of graves with corpses in them. And these corpses are representative of how we've just lived our lives, like corpses, dead to the world.
Mm.
They might as well just have buried us a long time ago.
Mm.
And they're showing me many children. So they're showing me the dark with all these corpses in, like a mass big grave, a mass exodus. And then they're showing me the children of today, millions of children that are, so if this is the grave and it's dark, the children are light, they're the angel keepers, the light keepers. And the children are regenerating and renewing this energy of today. Hence so many children are not talking. Hence so many children are autistic. They're not able to communicate, yet they're receiving the downloads, yet the parents are the ones that get frustrated because we have been told this is the way we grow. If you're not at this stage, at this level, at this time, you are a corpse. If you are not talking at this age, at this stage, and doing this and doing that, and even the schooling systems are corpseified. We have felt like we are corpses. Many times, school didn't serve you, they're saying. School didn't work for you as you were way above your generation of understanding what you saw, yet you had to be shut up, weren't you?
Yeah, that's great.
And for me, they're saying my generation, which is 15 years younger than your generation, I had ants in my pants. So we were smacked hard to keep quiet, to keep still. And then there was the next generation after me that still had ants in their pants, and they were given loads of medicine, Ritalin, Concerta, as these light generators, these light keepers came in quicker, faster. Yet the parents didn't know what to do with this burst of energy. They were called the indigo children at that time, the crystal children. Yet these children have frequencies that are coming in quicker, faster. Hence, digital technology is upgrading at a massive, massive, massive pace. Hence, there are younger millionaires nowadays because they're realizing that these systems of school do not serve them. So they're leaving earlier. And they're saying, wouldn't it be wonderful if every child and every parent decided to let their children rather play in nature than stay and be stuck looking at a board or looking at their computers. These systems would collapse very quickly, which is what is very needed and required. As even teachers of today are not too sure about what they're teaching. History is always, always, always being retold, isn't it?
It is.
And there's a fascination with historians, isn't it?
Yes.
Yet, and again, they're mentioning the beloved Robert Kennedy, who many resonate with. He is a historian, isn't he? He comes from a lineage of historians. So they're saying that these grids, these light keepers, there are generators of these different codes that we all hold within our systems, yet we are all plugged into many, many, many different systems. Hence again, they are showing me these children with these beautiful angels, these beautiful halos, dressed in white. Millions and millions of children that are being born today hold the light, yet are deeply misunderstood due to our systems that have been formulated over all these years.
What is that medication doing to those children?
Shutting them down. Shutting them down, numbing them. Numbing the encoded lights. So it makes life easy for the parents, you see, as it calms the body. Yet if these children went out to play on playgrounds, play in the parks, speak up, be allowed to speak up, be allowed to question the teachers who do not understand the questions, as the teachers are older, from an older generation. So they're coming in quick. And if these children were allowed to climb trees, they would have so much wisdom as they would feel into the trees. They would talk to each other. The trees would talk to the children would talk to the trees. Yet the parents are the ones who want them to shut up, who want them to be numbed. And they're saying, not everyone. Yet again, this is a part of the system that so many are buying into. So they're also saying it's very important to share with us that not all medicine is bad, Jill. Antibiotics were developed a long time ago. And antibiotics help us when we're sick. Sometimes it gives our system that downtime in order for the system to upgrade. And they're saying that it's important for us to use our discernment, because that is the absolute honor that we have been gifted as human beings. Are we aware of this? Discernment is an honor, correct. This is the information that is coming through right now from Merlin, who's a master magician and a scientist. He's showing me he's a scientist, and he's very interconnected into Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was a genius way, way, way before his time. And if we had to look at some of the frequencies and the codes that Albert Einstein was already delivering to us, we would know that there is so much information that is stored in all of us, in these systems, in these grids. Yet it is time that we listen to our children. Our children have huge amounts of information.
So when we listen to our children and we take time for our clarity, what's the next step?
To wait for the change. in this pause, in this year of separation, in this year of endings, in this year of endings of many, many cycles, of many, many patterns, of many, many karmic patterns, of many, many grids that have not been connecting, of many, many family patterns, many life cycles. The upgrades are happening. The upgrades are being shown to us. Hence there are so many relationships that are ending. You and I both know that there are many that have ended. Many are wondering, should they stay, should they go, should they leave? And this is the year of separation, Jill.
Yes.
This is the year of endings. And as we go into 2024, this is a time of new change. So in the pause of listening to the clarity of our discernment is where the key to unlocking these codes lie. Taking time out. And they're saying this information isn't new. Yet we still do, quicker, 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 quicker. Yet our bodies weren't designed to be quick. Our bodies weren't designed to be fast. We take 9 months to come in before we are birthed. 9 months to grow. Yet we've been told to think quicker, to be faster. Hence they're saying the flicking, these social platforms create disillusionment, yet create separation from interaction. Yes, there's a positive and there's a negative. The positive is we're able to do this and not have to be in the same room together, yet we are in the same room together, as is everybody who listens to us or to their messages coming through. Yet, in the pause, we find clarity, and it's known as being present. And when we are present, they're saying, do you remember the treble cone that was delivered to us a few weeks ago, a few months ago? The music. There is always a pause in music. And for those of us that are seeking the pause, they're saying, listen to classical music. They're saying, and showing me the jellyfish once again. There is a pause every time it swims. Every time it is contracting and expanding, it pauses. Yet, even in the codes of our neurons, of our light encoded in our beings, it is taking away and washing our thoughts and making them clean, filtering them. And when we filter them, it's exactly what they're doing right now in my forehead. Just stroking my forehead. It's soft. It's not scraping. It's not scraping. We've come from an era of scraping. We've scraped so much. And now we're finding the softness with one another. We're finding the gentleness. And they're saying, even if they were to speak like this, they were supposed to come through very quickly, and they're supposed to speak to us and like this, and get the information out because they feel that there's not enough time, we've got to speak quicker because there's so much information to deliver. There's very few that would keep up. with that vibration. So in the clearing of our throats, in the clearing of our cellular structure, in the slowing down of noticing what do we want to eat in the moment. How do we show up for one another? How do we be there? How do we open up? How do we be raw? How do we be vulnerable? This is where the key lies to unlocking in our stories. As you are well aware, you have said many times, and they are saying, we are all interconnected. Many humans, they feel, are getting it wrong as the Atlanteans that they are. As Atlanteans are pure. They're effervescent, yet you can see through them. I can see through them, like I say, like jelly, squishy. And they're saying where we get it wrong is that they all want the interconnectedness. They want what the messages are being delivered from Source, from God. But the cleansing happens with us individually. They can help in the cleansing, but we have to be the cleansing. We're the structures that we've built. We're the structures that we've weaved in disparity. They give me the word disparity, but yet disgust. Many of us are disgusted with one another. Many of us, when we look at a person who is obese, we look at them with disgust. Yet that person has a story to share, don't they?
And that's why they're carrying that weight, because they
Correct. They are not, they are carrying the weight of the world.
And the weight
So
of
they,
the story.
correct, so they eat themselves to death. They eat and eat and eat and eat and eat so that they can carry.
Yeah. So why are so many humans so intent on trying to cleanse another human rather than cleansing themselves first?
They're asking you to ask it a different way because there's two different questions in that.
So
Ask the first one, please.
So people seem to be very concerned with what others are doing. And they seem to spend a lot of energy talking about systems and what everybody else is doing. And it seems that they're not spending the same amount of time or going down the rabbit hole of themselves. Why is this?
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting. Right now he's anointing me. And I see this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bright light. And he says, just bear with him as he's going to take us down a path of clarity in this anointing. Many of us are feeling and have been feeding into the suffering of our lineages, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
And as we let go of the suffering, and they're saying, again, they want to use me as an example. And he says, and it's interesting because he becomes a he and then a they, and a he and then a they. And he says that this is how we are as human beings. I'm a Michelle, you're a Jill, but we are together in this connection. So as the anointing happens, and I've been letting go of much of the suffering of my old system, of my old lineage, of both mother and father, to bring more clarity. And they're saying it doesn't make me a golden child. It is encoded in my light being to be the change. which is not easy, Jill, for any of us. In our families that perhaps don't understand these changes. The willingness of change that we have wanted for ourselves individually is where many of us are wanting to be the change. And sometimes in the courage of being the change, we lose loved ones, don't we?
Yes.
We lose those that do not understand. Why? Why are we sharing our stories? Why? How dare we? They're saying, does this make sense? In your question?
Yes, but then why are we wanting others to change?
It's our knee-jerk reaction in wanting others to change, yet in wanting others to see us in our light. He says, do you see how he said that? We have the need collectively as human beings to want others to see us in the way that we want to be seen. Yet, when we have light in codes of courage and brave, and the word he was using is bravadery. Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah, bravado, yeah.
Bravado. Do you see how one is courage and one is bravado? One is ego, one is being in the light. It is a very different vibration between bravado and courage. Yet being brave has a different light code to bravado.
Yes.
And there's a sensation that comes up in our bodies when we either attune into the vibration of the energy of the emotion, which has either been filtered out of us or it's circulating and it's trying to find a way to get out. And how do we, mostly as humans, we get it out through this, don't we?
Or some people who don't know how to use that use their fists.
Correct. So hence bravado or courage. Courage is when we deeply sit within the pain and suffering, yet let it go in a different way, whether that be through therapy, through talking to a friend who holds space. Yet the reasoning behind the why is where there's a funnel system. Sometimes the why is where humans like to stay in their suffering, in their pain, because they tell themselves a million different stories as to why this is good for me, why do I eat this? So they're going back to Ritalin once again. Some parents are so desperate in their hope to help their children who they see them in suffering, that they have tried and tested so many alternative other ways. And they're saying, listen to the way they're saying it, alternative other ways. Yet it actually isn't about the child, it's about the parents. So the parents become desperate in not having the energy circulate out of them, out of the parents.
Yes.
So they become so desperate that they feel that this child that is just on, busy, questioning, that the parent just wants a reprieve.
They want children to them not adapt to the child.
They're saying both. they really want to highlight this as, because they know that so many children are on these different drugs.
And how hard must it be to be a parent like that? Unless you're going through that yourself, you have no idea how you would
Correct.
react.
They have to give these medicines at a certain time. These medicines make the children nauseous. These medicines change the vibration of the children. They change the neurons in the brain setting. So it's a whole different way of re-evaluating life. It's not just taking a tablet and it's going to be okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I keep on now being given an image of a tribe, like a tribe that you'd find in the American jungle or deep in Africa, with a child with extra energy, and the whole tribe takes their turn in playing with the child and teaching the child. So when did we lose our way with support structure and community with a family that might be
Correct.
struggling with one of these children?
Correct. It's taking, and they're saying thank you for that, Joel. Thank you for that. They're anointing you too with this information, by the way. So it's taking a meal to that person, to
Sorry, you
that
froze
family.
for a minute. Sorry, you froze. Could you just repeat that?
Did you get the part where they anointed you with the information?
No.
They're saying that they're anointing you too with information, and they're thanking you for receiving that information. And they're saying it's about supporting the family, taking a meal to the family, asking the father how is he feeling about having a child that doesn't fit the system. So they're saying so many have forgotten how to support one another. It's not about numbing, as there's an interpretation which is wrong information that, those parents are just numbing their child. No. Those parents are creating a reprieve for them for the next step, how to figure out what the next step is. These parents are spending thousands and thousands and thousands to find out how to help their children as these parents feel helpless. So if we as human beings may look at these systems, these medical systems, in a different way, in a different light, looking at the medicine in a different way, in a different light, and that everything is a short space in time. Everything is just for now, just for now. Nothing is forever, ever, ever. So how can we show up? How can we help? How can we support instead of judging? Again, they're giving me the visual of the obese person. Most humans who are obese have taken years and years and years and years and years of getting their bodies to be that way. Even children who are perhaps obese, they may have parents who are very, very thin. These children that are big in their structures, who have parents who are thin, are here to teach the parents something. There's always a learning, always a teaching. And they're asking me to give the example of my son last night. And it was meant to be a very happy day in our family yesterday. And it was a happy day. Yet my son felt it wasn't. And he was pushing me and pushing me and pushing me and moaning at me and moaning at me and moaning at me. And eventually when he came home from playing outside last night, I met him outside and he started crying and moaning at me, telling me I don't listen. And the word that I'd said to him on Monday morning was that I felt disappointed with him and his behavior. And he took that completely on. His whole vibration took it personally. His whole grid system was rocked. because I'm his mom that he loves. And in that one word, that's what stuck with him, is that it rocked his grid, it rocked his system, that I was disappointed with him. So when he cried last night, I held him. Yet as he cried, his system softened. It was a ripple effect in his system. Because before that, the whole day, he just was attacking me, attacking me, attacking me. And eventually I softened, and I got the knowing of, listen to what he has to say, listen to the energy that is coming my way, because he is a part of me. And as I was holding him, I was holding myself. And then he was able to hear that I said to him, I was disappointed in his behavior, not him. But he heard me as I was disappointed in him. So his whole system collapsed. And his whole system was frenetic. He didn't know what to do with that information. It was almost as if it was bouncing inside of his whole body. You know, like a pinball machine? You pull the trigger and the ball goes ding, 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 ding. His whole system was feeling alive, but lively, and he didn't know what to do. He was alive, he was electric. So as soon as he cried, he softened, but I held him. But I had to wait for his system to stop being electric, because he kept pushing me. And yes, we started to argue with one another. So I wasn't hearing him as much as he wasn't hearing me. Both of us were electric. And then eventually we both softened.
So can I ask you something?
Please do.
So Merlin, in a case like that, if we do have something important that we need to get off our chests, even our little chests, if we've got children, can we perhaps teach each other to say, I've got something important to share with you, and it's important for me to know that you understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to tell you what it is, and then I'd like you to repeat it to me, your understanding of what I've just said.
This is a great way of doing it, Jill, yet little bite-sized parts of information. Some people are able to extrapolate and hear lots of information. Some people are able to hear only little bits of information. And he's laughing and saying, you and I are exact polar opposites. I can hold little bits of information, you can hold lots of information. Yet I can hold lots of information when it comes to emotion, you can hold little bits of information when it comes to emotions. Yet we circulate. We are those air filters, those air conditioners that help each other to keep circulating and bringing in the freshness of the change for both of us. So yes, in the hearing of the circulating of the information is where we are calm in our systems. Yet when we are telling each other, this is what I want for you, we are not hearing one another. He says, do you hear the difference in the frequencies?
Absolutely. Well
So
said.
as parents, we are here to listen. We are here to feel the vibration. As in the feeling of the vibration of what my son was giving to me as a gift, was me being the little 13-year-old who didn't feel heard. So our children are our biggest reflections of who we once were, not who we are, who we once were. Yet we were not heard. We didn't have the system of medicine. We didn't have the beliefs of taking the child to the doctor because they're far too busy. We just got smacked. So now there's this massive evolutionary cycle with these crystalline children that are coming in, where more and more parents are wanting to hear the information that He is imparting, that Yeshua is giving, that Zeus is giving, that Horus is giving, that Nefertiti is giving, that Isis is giving, that Mary Magdalene is giving, that the Council of Eight is giving, that the Council of Nine is giving, that Theo is giving, that the Galactic Federation of Light is giving, that Dominus is giving, Aurelius is giving. There are so many systems out there and spirit beings that are giving information through our filter system, and then we are imparting the information in a different vibration. There are millions of them out there, as there are millions of us. And vibration is vibration. That is it. So as our son was filtering and cleansing for myself and my husband, so is our daughter filtering and cleansing for us. So then we go through an upgrade. Then they go through an upgrade. And this is how we reformulate our light codes, our vessels. Please say again.
It's like a dance.
Correct. Yet so many parents do not want to hear that they are the ones that are needing the upgrades. They blame it on the children. I'm telling you. Yet the children are here to hold space and say, I'm showing you. Oh, that is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. They're here to show us they're the way keepers. The lights. They are the truth seekers, Julie.
Why has this affected Michelle like this, Merlin?
Because she got to see how pure her light is, as is yours, as is all the children that are coming to the earth, as is her children. They are filtering the old. So it's affecting her as it is in the showing. She has said this for such a long time. It's how you show me in your behavior.
She's only really understanding fully what it means. It's how you show me in your behavior.
Correct. Yeah. And it's an effect of how we are affected. Did you hear how I said that? So it's how even in the information that is coming through her from me is where even taking the time like you did to send a parcel, to find the right person, to celebrate as the Kiwi family that you are, to celebrate their coming of age, to celebrate their journey, to celebrate their life into becoming New Zealand citizens, is where so much appreciation shifts the grid, Jill. It plugs in into a different grid. And it's only known as the golden light, the golden grid. Yet all these different grids that have been formulated, all these different light codes that are coming in, Children are the light keepers. They are the light codes. And it's what Michelle has seen for a very long time. Hence her resonance with children. Her light is seen with children. It's easy with children. Yet those adults that don't want to be with children are the ones that actually need the biggest hugs, Jill. Those that don't like children, those that don't like animals, are the ones that need to spend more time with children, that need to spend more time with animals to get to know themselves deep inside.
So switch off the devices and go for a beautiful walk with an animal.
Correct. Or
Don't
spend
explore.
time at a park. Spend time eating ice cream. Spend time eating cake. Spend time being in delight. Children are delightful to be around. They are the light. Delight.
Oh, the light.
Correct.
Very good, Merlin. Very good. Now, before we end off, could you tell me something about this incoming energy that we are preparing for? How is it affecting our bodies?
You all talk about the change that you want to be or the change that you want to see. And this incoming light is affecting you here, as the neck is where the expansiveness happens in the voice, in the throat chakra. The neck is what connects the body, the head, to the body, to the torso. Many of you are going through upgrades in your solar plexus. So many of you are feeling intertwining, like you were describing to Michelle, that sponge. There are many different elements to your solar plexus and to your nervous systems, which is all interconnected into your spine, interwoven into your spine. So many of you will feel cold at times and you won't understand why you're getting the shivers. Pins and needles in your feet. Nervousness, almost like an agitation and nervousness. Remember, the body needs to filter, the body needs to move in order to filter these different old stages of emotions, going through these upgrades. And in the heart, as it is expanding, you may feel a burning, a warmth, different pulsations. So the heart may be off, it may not beat the same way. It may feel that every now and again the heart will beat quicker, faster. Many humans will be leaving with heart attacks. The heart gets attacked, hence it's called a heart attack, as they have not worked on their heart. They have not worked on their own internal love, or not known how to be loved or to feel loved. These upgrades will be in different stages, Jill, as if you are plugged into the system. You're already all plugged into the system. And these upgrades will be momentous. Listen to your body, drink loads more water. As soon as Michelle is realizing right now she's thirsty, her body already is thirsty. It's not too late. Just drink more water. And play more. Fun, 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 laughter, laughter, laughter. But it's being felt here and in the ears and the jaws. Yeah, like this is the grid that we're talking about.
Right. I just want you to be aware of.
Yes.
Okay, and just to finish off, as you know, we're going to Egypt on the 20th. We're going to be there to do some work on the 26th. What is the importance of the alignment of the planets at that stage for humanity or for the earth?
Sure, Jill. This is massive. We're showing Michelle the pyramids right now. The Sphinx that holds many light codes. This is a crystal on its own. We're showing each structure. Each pyramid has an antenna. It is deeply, deeply, deeply connected to a mass amount of change. This is about change, Jill. Many of the human beings that are not going with this group, we ask that you all connect. The connection is already happening, hence you are already feeling it in your vibrations. This will be a massive time of downloads for all the different antennas. Those that are connecting on the 26th of October, we ask of you to sit in meditation for 60 minutes, quietly, connecting into this field no matter where you are in the world. Connecting into this group, this very unique, ornate group of human beings that were birthed for this time. You are all from different star systems. You all hold different keys. You all hold different vibrations. You all hold different unique light codes. Even those that are connecting into this energy at this specific date, we are not here about time, as there is no time. We're just saying the date, the 26th of October, 2023, is a massive shift, an evolutionary shift in humanity that will take place. So much that has been the way that it has been for a long time will change. Systems are coming down. This source light will be felt amongst many millions. The darkness will leave. Change will happen in the blink of an eye. Trafficking of children will no longer exist. Drugs, the way that they have been sold, will shift rapidly. Many systems with the United States, Russia, China, people will care more as opposed to looking at the systems only. People will not be microchipped as they think that they are heading in that direction, Jill. This is not true. The light codes that you all hold is where we are showing Michelle there's a mass change of vibrational hues and tones that will be unlocked into this light source. You will all feel different. For those who are connecting into this energy, all of you will change the grids. every grid will be different for each and every human being. There are no negative entities, may we say. There is no darkness that is waiting to happen. There is only light, 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 only light. The upgrade comes in every part of your system, of your bodies. And this cycling, this recycling of this system, of this energy, is where you will all feel it. And so it is. You will feel dizzy with this vibration. And you will feel the upgrade in your whole entire systems. Thank you.
Thank you, Merlin. Thank you so much for coming through. Do you have any last words, or are we now complete?
You are all within your truth. All the stars, all the galaxies are coming together for this time of separation. And in the separation, only togetherness. The bonding of together. Two becomes one, Jill. We thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And until we have another chat, we appreciate you coming through.
We thank you for all this work, Jill. Thank you.
It's such a pleasure. And with that, I would like to get you back feeling fabulous as always. One, moving around. Two, opening up those big eyes of yours, wiping away the tears. 3, 4, 5. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yo. Gosh, Jilly. I felt that I could actually feel that light. It was interesting. It was just kind of like,
Coming in blocks.
pardon?
Coming up in a block.
Yeah. But, you know, if you take like a big wrecking ball that goes against a wall.
Demolition.
Like, yes, that's how it felt. Like, whoa. I was still feeling it. Yo, wow. Ugh. It just, pardon?
That's something to look forward to, but can you see now why people have to rest and eat
Yeah.
everything to be able to be light enough to. That's why they want to have the clarity to get rid of all the nonsense, so that they've got the space for the new light that's coming through, the new energy. So it doesn't, so that it's not too hard on their bodies.
Excuse me. Yeah. Whew.
So you said that, and I went like this. Yes.
So true. And for, you know, for anybody that perhaps doesn't have a, gosh, look at my nose. What the frickin' hell is that about? I swear. It's like my worst.
I didn't even notice it until you said it, and now I'm
Look at
noticing.
it. Check at it. Can you see?
It's gone red.
Massive. There's something that I know that my body's either shifting, or it's the most interesting thing, because if I eat something that doesn't agree with me, my nose goes like this. And a friend actually said to me, as a naturopath, she said, Mish, well, at least your body's showing you. And I was like, true, it's showing me, but it's still freaking annoying. It's because I
But a
just look
laugh,
like,
I'm
I
not
know.
going to laugh, Mish, because he said about the signs of upgrade and all of a sudden, and sometimes it's sort of like heartburn, like you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Last night as I was going to sleep, I kept on getting this like heartburn, and I thought, what have I had that's different that I don't normally eat? And somebody had visited us and given us some carrot cake, and I felt, well, I'll be polite and have a slice, but I didn't feel like it. Ha ha ha! Like you don't. No, but I did. I didn't feel like it, but I knew that if I said no, that he wouldn't have had a slice and he wanted a slice. So I then went and took one for the team as such. So my body wasn't happy. So there I am last night and I'm thinking, oh my God, I can't remember the last time I had heartburn. It's got to be the carrot cake. And then when you said about upgrade, I'm going, no, it wasn't the carrot cake. It's an upgrade. It's an
Yes, we can tell ourselves such cuck, eh? Yes, yes, we can tell ourselves such cuck. You know, yeah, no, sure. I think it's that. No, I think it's that. Yeah, we can spin ourselves some stories, eh? Oh, my soul.
what is the story you're telling yourself today?
I know, but that's why I really admire people that are on, sometimes as we know, we get on these journeys and then we get sick. And then we've got to really, I'm going to use the example of cancer. People who get cancer, then they've really got to be on the straight and narrow and they've got to really sit with what feels right for them, whether that's doing chemo, doing radiation, or not, or going alternative. And I always say to anybody, you never know until you're in that position, so never judge.
No, you've
But
got
what
no
I'm
idea.
sure, but what I admire about them is, and even people who are on these journeys of eating differently, whatever that looks like for them, I admire them because they stick to it. You know, it's like my husband would say, Brent would say, how do you know somebody's Jewish? Well, they tell you they're Jewish, and it's good for them. Good for them. Many times I've caught myself saying, I'm South African, like I really hold on to my South African heritage. I really do, as much as I become a Kiwi. I love the fact that I'm South African. Love it. And what was interesting yesterday in our citizenship ceremony is that I was the only Zimbabwean. I didn't realize that even though we were the only family of four, because I had people from the United Kingdom and England and Philippines and Thailand and Brazilian and Canadian, but they give you from the place that you were born. They're right there, the place that you were born, which I didn't know that. So Gabs, my daughter, was born in the United Kingdom. Caden, Brent, South Africa, me, Zimbabwe. I thought, wow, I actually forgot that that's my heritage. I'm Zimbabwean. And I stopped saying I'm from Zimbabwe because we were mocked. We were told, oh, you're such Wenwees, when we lived in Rhodesia. And it became our story, So I stopped saying to people, I'm actually Zimbabwean. But when I saw that yesterday, I went, I'm actually Zimbabwean. Do you know? So I don't know if I'm making sense, but I admire people that are strong in their institution of, thank you, I'm a vegan, I don't eat cheese and I don't drink milk, and and it makes somebody like me shuffle because I'm like, oh my God, if I've got a vegan coming for dinner, what am I going to cook, And it's easy, just give them a salad.
And don't you love that thing with all the cave drawings with all the antelopes and on the cave, and it says,
Yeah.
"Ha! You see, they never painted any salad."
Yeah, exactly. But do you understand what I'm saying? It's kind of like we actually, if we just honored each and every single one on their journey, and we never know what our journey is going to be until our journey is going to be, because I can sit here and claim that I love meat, blah, 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 but maybe in 5 years' time, 5 months' time, my body might go, Michelle, cut out everything. Who knows? I might get before Egypt.
One's wrong and one's right. It's what's right
Exactly.
for you, and you shouldn't feel bad because you're not a vegan, and you shouldn't feel bad as a vegan because you're not a carnivore. But somehow it's almost like the vegans going, I'll never feel bad because I'm not a carnivore. Like,
Yes.
hello.
Yes.
And I
I
suppose
know.
that's where, well, not all of them, obviously, but that's where the judgment is. Where you see
Yes.
people who are carnivores sometimes are made to feel bad or less
Yes.
than because they're eating meat.
Yes. And it's like anything I'd say to anybody, just make good choices. Make good choices that are good for you, because like I say, tomorrow, who knows? And I've thought about this. I've thought about this a lot, going, what happens if I did get cancer? What would I do differently? What would I do differently? I
You
don't
don't
know.
know it. You don't know until you do it. But I would have said
Exactly.
I would happily be a vegan if I had a chef. If somebody came and chefed and cooked for me and gave me this beautiful vegan and plant-based food. But it's like almost too easy to slap on a piece of meat or fish or whatever and then just have the salady bits, you know, around it, isn't it? When you've got to make
Yeah.
the salady bits or the veggies the main part, then you've really got to think about stuff. Then your
Yeah.
creativeness has to really come into play.
Well, you've just hit the nail on the head. The nail on the head. The Ned. Um, it's about being creative. And I think a lot of times I most certainly have forgotten how to be creative, and especially when it comes to cooking, because we cook the way we were taught to cook, and that's, just part of. I mean, I made spaghetti bolognese last week the way my mom made it. Yo, and it was delicious. But did I have indigestion afterwards? And I ate gluten-free pasta. It was just too heavy for my system, the way my system is now.
Yeah.
But I
So your
ate it for
system will
years.
like
Yes,
you said the children are here to show us.
yes.
Maybe our systems are here to show us. So how are our bodies feeling? And then you'll know
Absolutely. Absolutely.
change. Like I read that thing, are you energy rich? Right? If you're not energy rich, then what you feed in your body is not right for you.
So true. And I've got a lot of clients who their children can't eat certain things. I mean, Brent is very tactile, like he couldn't eat, he battles with touching certain foods. He battles with touching, he's actually a better cook than what I am, because he puts everything in certain places, and he's always cleaning his hands, always. Like if he touches something like chicken, he gets the grills, and he's like, okay, now I've got to wipe my hands. But a lot of my clients have children who can't eat or digest certain foods. Whether that be right or wrong, I don't know. But, like Katie's a perfect example. When his friends come here, they love noodles, or they love cooked chips, slap chips. They just love it. So I'll say, hey guys, and watching them eat noodles, it's not that they're eating noodles 3 times a week. But when you watch them slurp it, and they've got this whole system in the way that they do it, who am I to take that away from them? Nope. You need to eat salad. Like a bunch of 13-year-olds are going to look at me and go, she's ticked in the head. But I'll say to them, hey guys, maybe have fruit before or afterwards. Say, have you guys eaten fruit today? Yes, Michelle, or have a carrot. Let them all munch. I try and introduce that instead of trying to force feed them in a different way. But there's a lot of parents who, shame man, they just feel they don't know what to do because their kids can't eat certain things. And maybe that's what they mean by the different children that are coming in with all these different light codes, that their bodies don't need what we used to eating. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
All trying to figure it out.
no, I know what you mean. It's
We're all trying to figure it out.
systems are changing, and maybe they
Yeah.
don't eat the dense food that we are doing. So, Michelle, thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you, Julie. These are
What would
always.
you like to say to everybody as a parting message? Because you saw everything, you felt everything. So,
Oh,
what was the most important thing for you?
but never underestimate who you are as a human being and your story that you have or that you carry. And the beauty of seeing what I saw with all these multitude of colors is that we all are different. And that's what makes us so unique in every single one of us. Every single one of us is unique. And just in the way they show up. I mean, I'm always amazed at the information that comes through. Wow. Just amazed. And when we trust ourselves that we all have something to impart, to deliver, I think the biggest thing I want to say right now is thank you to each and every single one of the people that are following us, that connect with us, that show gratitude and appreciation for the information that comes through us. Again, we couldn't do it without everybody being here, and everyone's interconnected into a system of some sorts, whether it be a galaxy or the underworld, in the underworld that it is. Because man alive, it just feels, I mean, Jesus, I love, and loved jelly as a child. Love it. I actually want to go and make jelly right now just to play in it. But it was just beautiful, Jilly. Thank you. Thank you for trusting them, me, yourself. You know, you take me down. And not once, guys, has Jill ever taken me down the same path. Ever. Ever, ever. I mean, I go into it very quickly, and I could feel it. I was like, yep, here we go. And I could see this shark taking me down. And the fin, you know how sharks, white shark, great white, swim really quickly. And the great white was paving my way to go down. And what were the words you used? Subliminal.
Submersible.
Submersible.
Yeah, they
And for
told
me,
me to go into submersible today through the water.
yeah. And that's where I just saw the shark fin, and the shark was taking us down. And for me, great whites are so clever, aren't they? You know, they could submerge into waters, murky waters that we may never, ever, ever be able to get into. So thank you, Jolie.
Oh no, it's such a pleasure. Without you, what would I be doing? Hello. This is so much fun. And you know, to all those people, as you say, that watch our sessions, it's so wonderful to hear from them. And as you know, Michelle and I, we just human, just like you are, and we have our good days and our bad days. And you guys are so encouraging. You sort of like our whole backbone and our comfort blanket, and we appreciate that so much. It just lifts us, and then we think to ourselves sometimes, why are we doing this? And then we get a comment and we go, yes, we've helped one person this week. That's why we're doing it. Hey, it's wonderful, isn't it? But it just fills
Oh, well, that's what it is, eh? It just fills our heart.
yeah.
And the more we can fill each other's hearts, and there was just something I was sitting with as you were talking now. How about this, Julie? That maybe we put together something that is a paid platform party where people get to ask maybe 2 questions. I don't know if we'd do it live because I would feel into everybody's energy, but maybe they email you the questions and you put me under hypnosis, and we see everybody gets to ask a question or 2 questions. How does that sound? Like maybe guys comment, how does that feel to you? You know, I'm always consciously aware of wanting to give back to Jill, because Jill's given back to me in so many ways, and this perhaps may sound. I hope it doesn't sound egotistical, but for me, it's Jill gives me her time. She gives us her time, and I'd love to be able to give back in a paid form. And I'm not making this about you. I want you to know that I'm making this about.
It always makes me uncomfortable.
I know, and I could see you frowning already. But that's what we do. That's how we grow. That's how we make each other grow, is to make ourselves feel uncomfortable. But guys, comment, see if that resonates with you, where I don't know what the pricing would be, but we could set it up on one of our booking systems. And because I know so many people have questions, and maybe we could do a live session, you know, maybe where we get people on Zoom And then they ask, you put me under hypnosis, and I don't know, feel into it and see if it sits right with you.
And
But
each person gets their hand up.
and each one gets their hand up, because
Every single person's question gets answered.
yes, because one thing I know, that when I'm in hypnosis, I am so relaxed and so at ease. And even if they type the question, I don't know, it feels easy for me when we do this, is what I'm trying to say. So even if it is a live session where somebody then can ask a question through you, though, I feel like you've got to be the conductor. So even if they type the session and you read the session, that feels good to me if everybody's going to be here on Zoom. Or alternatively, we put something together where people email you, they pay, they email you their question or two questions, and then you ask the questions, you be the conductor of the questions, and then it's just you and I, yeah. I don't know how that would work, though, because we've got to think of how we would, because then everybody's got to connect afterwards on the YouTube platform, or we email them. How's that sound? We email them the actual session afterwards.
Oh, well, somebody will know in the audience that are listening and
Yeah.
thinking,
So
obviously.
let us know your thoughts, guys. It's just something that I was thinking about now. But it's always just, it's nice to get, I think, other people's questions, and maybe live would be a good way to do it. How do
And
you feel about that?
we're also thinking of starting a mentoring club as such, where we could meet once a month, both Michelle and I, and the people that would like to be with us. And we're going to do a small group where we're going to give you our time and our attention and personally answer your questions and help you out of difficult situations and just help you on your way. And we're not saying that we know it all, but with our guides and channeling, it might be able to help you. So if that's something that also you might enjoy, let us know, as well as things that we've just been discussing, because Michelle and I also need to grow ourselves. We need to um, develop and expand and get out of our comfort zones and also become a little uncomfortable. But Michelle was just saying both of us together definitely have something that we could offer. We just have to learn what kind of format we can put it in. Right?
Thank you,
Awesome.
Jillian. Hey,
Okay.
guys, love
Thanks.
you. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Thank you,
Until
Jillian.
next time. Lots of
Bye.
love. Cheers. Cheers.